Hello and welcome to Pixel's Real Reviews, where I review the good, the bad, and the downright horrible. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Kenobi Episode 5. Before I get into this, I just want to say there will be spoilers for this episode of Kenobi, so you have been warned. When we last checked in on Kenobi, he had just saved Leia from the Fortress Inquisitorius, and we find out that Reva had put a tracker on Lola. So that happened. Okay. We actually start right where that last episode left off, actually. We open up in Vader's Star Destroyer, where Reva is going to be crowned Grand Inquisitor because of her good job with Kenobi. They are on their way to Jabib, where Kenobi had been tracked there. They used Lola to lock the base down, which is kind of genius. And then, poof, a Star Destroyer is up above them. So the Empire sends landing troops to take care of the rebel forces. But they decide to barricade themselves in. Kenobi tries to buy them some time in order to escape, because they are trying to get women, children, families, everybody out of there. Kenobi and a small handful of rebel forces go to try to hold off the Imperial troops, when we actually learn Reva's backstory and what her beef is with Kenobi. So, it actually turns out that Reva was a youngling during Order 66. She was one of the ones that Anakin had thought that he killed or let live. Reva hates Anakin because of that, and she knows he became Darth Vader. And now Reva is hunting Darth, but she thinks Darth doesn't know. He always knows, let's just be honest. So Obi-Wan tries to reason with her. She will not listen. She's bent on revenge. See, she blames Kenobi for not being there to help her friends while they got slaughtered by Anakin. And she also sees it as a personal responsibility for Obi-Wan, because Anakin was his Padawan, so Obi-Wan should have had a better hold on him. That's what her mindset is. So that was really awesome that we finally got to see what her beef was with Kenobi. But that did not work. And eventually Reva gets inside the base and starts pushing the rebel forces. Tala decides to sacrifice herself, which is kind of sad. But at least she goes out with her droid. Her freight loader, I think they're called. At least she goes out with her droid. But eventually Obi-Wan realizes that they cannot fight him. They cannot fight off Darth. So Obi-Wan decides to surrender himself, so that way all the other people can escape, along with Leia. Speaking of Leia, Leia is actually inside of the vent, trying to figure out how to override the bay doors, so that way they can all escape, which is very brave of her. But Obi-Wan still decides to turn himself in anyway. He tells Reva that he is bringing Vader to her, so that way she can kill him, pretty much. She takes Obi-Wan into custody with 2 stormtroopers back into the base. Well, we know how that's going to go. Obi-Wan escapes. Darth Vader comes down, hunts Obi-Wan, I find it really, really cool how even when the ship was taking off, he was able to hold it in place and drag it down using the force. But it took a great strain on it. You could hear it in Vader's breathing. I mean, that was awesome. The only place we've seen that happen before is in The Force Unleashed. So, seeing Vader actually do that, that's awesome. Reva decides that now is her chance to go and try and kill Vader. But, surprise, surprise, Vader knows the whole time what she was trying to do. He basically says that Obi-Wan was smart to use her anger, but he was anticipating it, and he reveals that he knows exactly who she is, and he let her live. So that happened, but Vader got the upper hand after a bit of toying with her, because of course. He stabs her in the gut with her own lightsaber. As she's dying on the floor, the Grand Inquisitor comes back and taunts Reva about how her anger was useful, but now it's just irritating and blah 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 blah. So he takes back the Grand Inquisitor badge that she got and leaves her there to die. Now back up on the ship, Obi-Wan senses that something is wrong. And little did they know, somebody dropped Obi-Wan's communicator chip that had Bail Organa's message. And guess who finds it? If you guessed Reva, then you are correct. But Reva's dying, so she can't really do much with that info anyway. The camera work in this episode, oh, it's by far the best I've seen so far. And the sounds, you know, the sound design really reminded me of Rogue One. It kind of gave me a Rogue One type of vibe there, you know? All in all, it's an awesome, awesome episode. This episode rating is getting bumped up to a 9. I know that it's been fluctuating from 8 to a 9, from an 8 to a 9, from an 8 to a 9. But this episode deserves it. It's awesome. If you guys have not checked it out already, I highly suggest you do so. But, yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. If you like this type of content, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. And, yeah. I'll see you all next time. See ya.